Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Down the other end, Erin has local news up next.
Shreveport Council okays the big development at the old Shreveport Country Club. We'll talk more about that. Also coming up, the major oil companies are looking to the Gulf today. And some major football programs might be picking up an LSU QB.
Did anybody get shot last night?
There were a couple of incidents. I don't think anybody was, I'm not sure.
Was there gunplay in the city?
Probably, yeah.
We will discuss that and maybe a little baseball in the opening segment, but not pertaining to the sport itself. Fletcher, sports, traffic, and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
Information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport Council okays a new development at the Old Country Club. Members of the council say they voted to rezone the area for the project because it will help Shreveport grow and promote economic development.
For those that haven't noticed, I would say our inner city is in desperate need of redevelopment. And this, to me, is a great opportunity that I'd like to see more of. We've had a project that so far in District C that had a lot of headwinds initially has really seemed to come out pretty well in the Madison Park area. And I'm hoping, that same level of investment and quality will occur here as well.
Councilman Oliver Jenkins, the $240 million project expected to create 1,200 temporary jobs and 200 permanent ones. Construction set to begin early next year. Severe beating gets a mom a trip to jail. Courtney Lyles arrested for allegedly beating her son severely with a belt. According to Bossier deputies, the beating caused welts and loose skin on the 4-year-old's backside. The incident happened back in April and was originally investigated by the Department of Children and Family Services. Lyles has posted bail with the stipulation of not contacting the victim. The boy's been placed in the custody of a family member. Dust from halfway across the world is back in Shreveport. Matt Parker with that.
Dust from Africa is once again filling the skies in Shreveport-Bossier. The Saharan dust cloud causes hazy skies, lowers air quality, and can make it hard to breathe. The dust previously made its way to the area back in July. The dust cloud has traveled over 6,900 miles to make its way to Shreveport-Bossier. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
School superintendent accused of bullying a teacher. Natchitoches High School teacher Marvin Blake claims Superintendent Dale Skinner began trashing him to other teachers and attempted to intimidate him because they have differing views on raising taxes. Skinner is for taxes to fund the schools. Blake is not. The matter was taken to the local school board. Members debated various punishments for Skinner's actions, but ultimately levied no punishment. The feds will be holding another auction on leases for oil and gas plots in the Gulf, with Louisiana industry members hoping for a more substantial result than earlier this year. Industry analysts say the last bid was disrupted by uncertainty surrounding the royalty rates. Tulane Energy Institute Director Eric Smith says there's reasons to be optimistic. It'll be bigger sale this time.
The royalty rate's like 12.5%, which is historically a good rate and should encourage a little more enthusiasm. You've also had a year's worth of higher oil prices.
The plots are used by major oil companies to initiate Gulf of Mexico resources drilling. Caddo Parish, in conjunction with the Clerk of Court's office, hosting a seminar on how to get misdemeanor charges expunged. The Second Chance Summit and Resource Fair will be held tomorrow from 9 to 1 at the Ag Building at the fairgrounds. The Ag Commissioner meeting today with the marijuana growers tasked with providing medicinal cannabis in the wake of news that this year's crop is being delayed until November. The pot's producer, GB Sciences, is blaming the delay on resistance from the Department of Agriculture. But Commissioner Mike Strain says that's just not true.
The information they initially submitted was very inadequate, and it wasn't even on our forms. And we've told them what their deficiencies are, and they have to correct that. That's the bottom line. It's got to be done right.
The final distributed product must be in pill or oil form, not the generally imagined smokable version. Italian authorities have raised the death toll in the Genoa Highway bridge collapse to at least 37. The investigation continues. What would prevent you from munching on a taco stuffed with tarantulas? Aside from the $27 price tag, or maybe the gag reflex, that is, how about it being against the law? That's the deal with a Mexico City market that recently offered a tarantula taco on its menu. It even posted a video on Facebook showing a chef torching one until it was blackened. The feds, though, say it's not legal. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
If you're 10 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic and Reuben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Brownlee Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
What was the term you used? 101. Hold on. Let me refocus. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, 12 past 6 o'clock. What was the term you used yesterday for my abbreviated Ric Flair woo?
Depressing?
No, I don't remember what.
Sad?
No, it wasn't weak, but it was something like weak. Woo! Yeah, and you mocked me.
As everyone should, because it is literally the worst woo on planet Earth.
Well, if you want to lean back and start the show with another Ric Flair-esque and woo! What was yours again?
That's even worse.
He really stopped doing that.
Sound like a party favorite
That is the
down
most
there.
annoying thing in the world.
We had a story yesterday about the baseball signed by, I think it was 11 baseball legends that sold for $624,000. Hold on, $623,369.
That's amazing.
Now, the point I'm making is the way that the story was written, and you had it on the news yesterday, and it was like, it was signed by Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, and a bunch of other guys. Mm-hmm. I said, what? Who were they? He said, I don't know, it's in the story. But it was Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, a bunch of other guys. In 1939 at this Hall of Fame thing when they actually dedicated the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Now, I don't know if you know anything about baseball. Here's a list of the players whose names are on this baseball. Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, good so far?
Yeah, not bad.
Honus Wagner.
Good.
Heard of him?
Yeah.
Tris Speaker.
Never heard of him.
George Sisler.
No.
Walter Johnson. I think George Sisler is the last National Leaguer to hit 400. Double check. George Sisler, Walter Johnson, pitcher. Connie Mack.
Got him.
Napoleon Lajoie. You know who Connie Mack is?
I've heard of Connie Mack.
Okay, he was a manager.
Yeah.
Napoleon Lajoie.
Oh, that's the guy who purchased Louisiana, isn't he?
Eddie Collins and Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Grover Cleveland. Did he go on to be president?
Grover Cleveland Alexander. As a matter of fact, Ronald Reagan played him in the movie.
Oh.
I mean, that's to have those names on one baseball.
That's pretty amazing.
Is not that I'd buy it, even if I had the money. What memorabilia, what sports memorabilia do you have at your house? Both of you. Anything at all? Now, it doesn't have to be, your mother used to work for the Orioles. For
I
God's
got
sake.
all kinds of crap.
Like what? What's the best thing?
I have a baseball autograph by Boog Powell. Who else is on there? Jim Palmer.
Hall of Famer.
There's like 3 or 4 Hall of Famers on the ball.
The only thing I have at the house.
Now, this is, let me interrupt.
This is embarrassing.
You may have more than you think.
I might.
I
have some other. I have showbiz. A few showbiz things.
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Do you have anything of your sons or your mothers or your fathers if they played sports? For example, I have 2 of my father's golf clubs. I mean, that are like 50, 60 years old.
No, I have my sons. Some of my sons.
Soccer stuff.
Yeah, I have
that
some
counts.
soccer stuff.
That counts.
But I have.
Do you have it on display?
No.
Would you ever frame?
I have
one
it
of
in a
his
garbage
jerseys?
bag ready to throw out.
That'd be good.
But I did save a jersey from each of his little soccer years when he was little.
Right.
And recently during the remodel, I asked him if he wanted them, and he said no, so we did throw them out. You know, I had each jersey from every year when he played.
Gotcha.
And they were cute. But what I do have, and you will want this, Matt might want this, I have a hockey puck from the very first Mudbugs game.
What?
Yeah.
1997?
However long from Hirsch, yeah.
From 1997, the Shreveport Mudbugs in the then Western Professional Hockey League.
It's the only sports memorabilia.
How did you get that?
Somebody gave it to one of my sons after the game.
Is there any kind of
no signing on it or anything like that?
No, but there is any kind of authentication.
No, I mean, no. What do you do? I don't know. One of the players gave it to my kid who was over there on the wall banging.
On the very first game in fall of 1997.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't even know if I could lay my hands on it, to be honest with you. But it's in my house somewhere. It got put in a box. I don't know where it is.
What else you got?
Oh, God. For when I was born, the Orioles organization gave my mom an autographed baseball from the 87 team. So everybody, coaches, managers, Eddie Murray's on there.
Hall of Famer.
All the Ripkins, all 3 of them.
Hall of Famer.
Billy, Cal, and Cal Sr.
Yeah.
All those guys. I got a bunch of wrestling stuff, Capital stuff. I mean, I have an autographed football from the Baltimore Stallions when we had a Canadian Football League.
Oh, man.
That ain't bad. Now, do you have it tucked away, or do you have it on display?
Some of it's on display, like the baseballs that were signed by Brooks Robinson and Jim Palmer and all those guys are in
I
the
do
safe.
have my letter jacket.
This guy's got a museum. That counts.
I have my letter jacket.
This guy's got a museum.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, I've got a couple of baseballs. I have a Hoyt Wilhelm. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Autographed baseball. And some other odds and ends from my favorite players. I only collect things from my favorite players.
Right.
But the best thing I have is a Mudbucks championship ring from 2011.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That
I
is
was
awesome.
I was just checking
I have a World Series ring.
What?
that they gave his mom.
It's not like a real, full of gems and gold, but they
Yeah.
had a cheapo was made for the staff
Man.
with an adjustable band on it.
Very cool.
Like a hat.
Yeah,
Why
sort
don't you
of.
wear it?
Yes. Me, who the only jewelry I wear is a watch. I'm not going to be wearing a big, gaudy World Series
You
ring
should.
from '83 before I was even born.
1017 FM 710 Keel, the Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. That's 318-392-1884. Matt is sort of the standard, the bar. If what sports memorabilia do you have? It'll be interesting to read as the morning rolls on.
Yeah.
What sports memorabilia
Put that on Facebook, too.
do you have on display, or like Erin, in a bag at your house?
I'll think of something else, I'm sure.
I bet you got more stuff than you
I
think.
have all my old trophies somewhere.
What are you thinking now?
Well, I'm just trying to run down the list in my head of all the stuff I have. Like, I have sheets of Orioles baseball cards uncut that I got.
Do Yu-Gi-Oh cards count?
Absolutely not.
Pokemon cards? No?
Well, they do show it on ESPN.
LSU quarterback disaster in the offing.
Oh, my God.
And when we come back, speaking of disaster in the offing, we attempted to discuss with some degree of intelligence the I'm going to say ongoing mess, but it kind of is, between Greg Tarver and Biomedical Research Foundation and
I've got their response, too.
LSU Medical School, and now Steve Scrivanos, and the governor is involved, and it's really, although it is a new kerfuffle, as the term goes. It's really the same old fight. You know, it's same fight, different day. 1017 FM 710 Keel traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Brownlee Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-two past 6 o'clock, 1017 FM 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU redshirt freshman quarterback Lowell Narcisse announced last night on social media that he will immediately transfer. The four-star quarterback out of St. James High School battled back from knee surgeries in his junior and senior years at St. James to receive an offer from LSU. According to Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger, Narcisse is the 14th LSU quarterback of the last 20 signed to depart the program or switch positions. 9 of those 14 never took a snap at LSU. Junior Justin McMillan missed practice Tuesday, leading to speculation about his future. He, along with sophomore Miles Brennan and Ohio State transfer Joe Burrow, are the only 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the LSU roster. Narcisse is expected to move to junior college, where he would be immediately eligible and could rejoin an FBS program in 2019, just like Lindsey Scott did last year after leaving LSU. McMillan has his degree and can transfer to an FBS school and be eligible immediately with 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. Houston's losing streak is now at 5 games after Colorado's 5-1 win in Minute Maid Park last night. The Stros have lost 9 in a row at home. Oakland beat Seattle 3-2, and they're now just 1 game behind Houston in the American League West standings. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's really the same fight, different day. It's really the same fight, different day. Senator Greg Tarver sends a letter, series of letters to Governor John Bell Edwards saying that he doesn't want Steve Scrivanos, former BRF, he was on the board, right, for Biomedical Research Foundation, doesn't want him sitting on an advisory panel or an advisory board as a BRF representative as Auctioner takes over the medical operation of the med school. Have I got all that right?
Pretty much. They're putting together the management team right now and the board that will oversee running
but
the
that's two
med center
things.
here.
That's 2 different things.
And the one in Monroe.
There's kind of an advisory board, too. And that's the one. In fact, I think the term non-binding advisory, some other terms like that were used in one of the Tarver letters to the governor that said, don't put Steve Scrivanos on that board.
Right.
He's with BRF, and BRF is crazy, and that's like putting your ex-wife in your in-law apartment. Basically, that was what he said.
Yes.
And in fact, he practically used that precise analogy.
He did. He absolutely did. He said in his letter, appointing Steve Scrivanos to any board that has direct or indirect control of Auctioner, LSU, would be equivalent, I'm quoting, to someone getting a divorce, remarrying, and then moving their ex-spouse in with them and their new spouse. Now, I got a statement. I inquired about Steve Scrivanos and having him on the show.
We asked a whole bunch of people to come on with us this morning and join us and it was like, well, no. We sent you an email. Well,
we might be speaking to Tarver later. We'll see.
But the rift makes it, if you use the term rift, it implies that they were once friends and aren't anymore. For so long. I mean, every time we ever talk to Senator Tarver about university health, about the hospital or the med school, he launches into what he considers to be the ineptitude and mismanagement of BRF. So this is really nothing new at all.
Yep. Steve Scrivanos sent me this statement. His people sent me this statement yesterday. I'm quoting. BRF representation on the 8-person hospital governing board would bring historical perspective of system operations and a wealth of community insight that is important for a successful transition. This will ensure to our 3,200 employees and to the 500,000 patients that we see each year that the improvements we have instituted over the past 5 years will continue. The makeup of the advisory boards in Shreveport and Monroe has yet to be determined. That's from Steve Scrivanos yesterday. Send me that statement. He's not going to say anything else. That's it.
No, that's pretty close to the vest.
Governor's written another letter dated August 14th.
The governor or Tarver?
Tarver.
Yes.
Another letter to the governor about the management and how Monroe and Shreveport need to be treated differently because of the numbers. And we're going to post all this online here in just a second at KEELnews.com.
Including the first. Now, this is the this is the fourth. The one that you have is the fourth. Is this the one with the figures and the numbers and the attachment to it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the one that you read, not the Scrivanos letter, the latest Tarver letter. I think this is the fourth one.
I only have 3. I have one from August 8th. One on the 10th, and now one on the 14th.
Okay, there's a 12th in there also.
Is there? Okay.
Yes. And that has an attachment that has all this other stuff, basically, but it's all the same thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, with respect to Senator Tarver, it's the same thing. BRF sucks. I don't want him around. Should have gotten rid of him 100 years ago.
Yeah.
In fact, if you go back to I think 2015, he didn't even like Ochsner.
Right.
Let me see if I can find that article, or at least find the quote. I mean, this goes back a whole bunch of years. He didn't, for a long time, even want Ochsner in there. I don't know what his stance on that is now. We haven't spoken to him about it in quite a while, as this has sort of been on the back burner as the management transition takes place.
We could get him this morning if you'd like.
That would be pretty awesome.
He's up. He might be on the treadmill right now.
But you know what he's going to say? BRF sucks. No Scrivanos. I sent a letter to the governor. Mm-hmm. No, sir. You sent 4. 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin has local news up. Next, here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Brownlee Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
Dust from Africa once again filling the sky in Shreveport-Bossier. The Saharan dust cloud causes a hazy sky, lowers the air quality, and can even make it hard to breathe. The dust previously made its way back to the area in July. The dust cloud has traveled over 6,900 miles to make its way to town. Severe beating gets a mother a trip to jail. Matt Parker with that.
Courtney Lyles has been arrested for allegedly beating her son severely with a belt. According to the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office, the beating caused welting and loose skin on the 4-year-old's backside. The incident happened back in April and was originally investigated by the Department of Children and Family Services. Lyles has posted bail with the stipulation of not contacting the victim. The boy's been placed in the custody of a family member pending further legal action. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Despite an outcry from neighbors, the city council has approved a new development at Shreveport's Old Country Club. Members of the council say they voted to rezone the area because it will help Shreveport grow and promote economic development.
And so I'm hopeful that it's a real big success. It looks to be a well thought out investment in our community.
Councilman Jeff Everson, the $240 million project, expected to create 1,200 temporary jobs and 200 permanent ones. Construction set to begin early next year. School superintendent accused of bullying a teacher, Natchitoches High School teacher Marvin Blake, claims that Superintendent Dale Skinner began trashing him to other teachers and tried to intimidate him because they have different views about taxes. Skinner is for raising taxes to fund schools. Blake is not. The matter was taken to the school board. Members debated various punishments for Skinner's actions, but ultimately levied no punishment and warned Skinner not to take any retaliatory measures against Blake. Blake, though, says he plans to take legal action against Skinner. A former Balch Springs, Texas police officer is about to go on trial for, prosecutors say, firing his gun at a car speeding away from a noisy park, killing 15-year-old Jordan Edwards. At the time of Roy Oliver's arrest, the prosecution said it was making an example out of him, sending a message to other officers. Defense attorney Bob Gill argues that and other prosecution statements could influence jurors against his client.
Those things have infected the jury box, and we don't believe we can get a fair trial here in Dallas County because of that.
The judge denied the defense motion to move the trial due to publicity. Police in Pennsylvania investigating a shooting at a Walmart. The Cheltenham Police Chief John Fry says multiple people sustained non-life-threatening wounds.
At about 7 minutes after 6 o'clock this evening, one of our officers was in the area and observed a large number of people running from the Walmart. Turns out there was a shooting inside. The officer entered the Walmart, discovered multiple shooting victims.
Police arrested the suspects a short time later after they crashed into a police car. And there's good news for Cleveland Browns fans. Budweiser will be offering free beer every time the Browns win a game. In fact, they're putting fridges out all around town that will unlock when Cleveland wins a game. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. We have a short segment here. I don't know if I want to talk about LSU quarterbacking and we brought this up yesterday, even before this news broke. I said to you, is the fact that there is so little news from LSU football training camp about anything, but specifically the quarterback position.
It's blowing up now.
Is that for you cause for concern?
Oh, of course it
i.e., nobody's really that good.
It's a struggle. What are we, 3 weeks out now from opening game?
So what's going on?
Narcisse is out. Announced on Twitter he's transferring.
Why?
Didn't name a school. And you got Justin McMillan didn't show up for practice yesterday.
Sounds to me like the coach has got a little bit of a player discipline problem.
And they're saying Tiger Rag is saying that McMillan could leave and he's eligible to play right away.
Right.
Because he's a graduate from transfer in.
If you have graduated, if you've completed 4 years, if you have a degree, but you have eligibility left, you can transfer and play immediately.
Yeah, Narcisse would have to sit out, correct?
Yeah,
it's a freshman.
Unless they give him a waiver, which is highly unlikely.
Not going to give him a waiver.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. I don't know who's looking at him. I'm sure he had a lot of people looking at him before he chose LSU, so he's probably going back to that.
But this is a case where he's looking to transfer after signing with LSU before he even completes his first fall practice. Mm-hmm. That doesn't look good.
No,
if you started school a month ago or less,
yeah,
or hell, they maybe haven't even started school yet.
What it tells me is that coach has told one of them he's a starter and it ain't you, so you're gone.
What?
If you're Narcisse, you got the word. You're not the starter. You decided I want to be.
Narcisse is a freshman, right?
He's a red shirt. He's a red shirt.
Okay, so he's in his second year.
Right. And he wanted to be the starter. I mean, you got Tua, as the sophomore over in Alabama that may start. So he thought he was good enough to be the starter. I think that's what is happening. I think the decision's been made. They're keeping it quiet. But the quarterbacks have heard the decision, and they're like, peace out.
So the other two guys are this Ohio State transfer. What's his name?
Mixon or something.
Yeah.
And then you have Miles Brennan also.
Who's not going to be the guy?
No, he's not the guy. If he's the guy, I'm a tech
Then
fan.
why haven't you heard anything?
I don't know.
I mean, if somebody has outshone all the others, why isn't anybody writing about that?
I'm not sure.
So-and-so is lighting it up on the Tigers practice field.
I have seen some sizzle reels, so to speak, of that Mixon kid. I've seen a lot of that going around, and I got a feeling they're trying to play things close to the
Are you sure that's his name? Let's double check. I don't know. I apologize.
Who?
Was he an
Ohio kid?
An Ohio State transfer?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. There's a headline today in the Cleveland newspaper that says, quote, why Joe Burrow may be one step closer to becoming LSU's starting quarterback.
Because everybody else is bailing.
Everybody's gone.
639, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Ruben's here.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Brownlee Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app is always a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty this weekend, a huge weekend in the Arklatex, marking the 50th anniversary of GeekCon. It started way back in 1968. Not a lot of people know that, and
Boy, the geeks were different back then.
Perhaps, given the look that Mr. Adams is giving us, I might be a little wrong.
No, actually, it feels like you're exactly right. It feels like I have aged about 50 years.
That's because you are the man in charge. You look, turn this way a little bit.
He's the king of the geeks.
Are you dark circles, or are those dark circles under your eyes, or are you a South Park character? Good Lord, man.
Yeah, there we go.
But congratulations in advance.
Explain to folks what GeeksCon is.
Okay, it's simple to just say something along the lines of it's Shreveport's Comic-Con, because I think by this point a lot of people understand what a Comic-Con is. They see San Diego Comic-Con International, New York Comic-Con, Wizard Worlds. Geek is so mainstream now that these type of events are covered at a regular pace, but what we've done is we've taken the giant San Diego Comic-Con and we've kind of modeled it to the Shreveport scale. So it's not going to be as big and crazy expensive as you'll see in San Diego, where single-day tickets can run you $185 to $350.
Whoa.
We're doing like $25 weekend passes. So it's that kind of event scaled to Shreveport.
You know, I've mentioned this to a bunch of friends who, and you can sort of expound on this, who consider themselves outside that GeekCon demographic, and I say, no. Nobody is outside the GeekCon demographic, but the point I was going to make was that it's 15,000 people over 3 days. It's one of the biggest, most successful, most economically impactful occurrences in the Shreveport year.
Yeah, we kind of have moved our goal every year. We kind of have like what's the intent? And originally the intent was to deliver an event that we felt Shreveport deserved, and we still have that intent. But really, to prove to everybody who may feel like they're outside of a geek bubble that everyone literally is a geek has become our purpose. Whether you're somebody who's big into hunting and fishing, but then when Sundays roll around in the fall, you change your entire schedule around so you're in front of your TV for the new episode of The Walking Dead. It's a TV show based on a comic book. You're a geek. If you go out to the movies in the summer and you see the big blockbusters, either your Justice League-oriented movies or your Avengers movies or your Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, Star Wars movies, those are all geek movies.
Do I have a little geek in me?
Everybody does.
And Robert?
Absolutely.
What's Robert's geek?
Well, that's kind of, it's up to you to sort of find it.
Okay.
It's in there. If you come out to GeekCon, you're going to look around and you're going to find something that you're interested in. You're going to find something that you're into. And that's going to be your little sliver of the geek world. And sometimes when you dip your toe into the pool, all of a sudden you realize, hey, this nostalgia feels really good. I came here to meet Eric Estrada from Chips, and now all of a sudden I'm talking to Mick Foley and I'm seeing Chris Sarandon and I'm remembering how cool this stuff is. And now you've got a toy room in your house.
I know you dig into numbers. How big an economic impact is GeekCon to our city?
The last time we had the Convention and Tourism Bureau run the economic numbers, it was a $1.4 million economic impact. Now, that was a couple of years ago, so I would anticipate that number has grown, and this year is our biggest talent year ever. We've invested more into talent than ever before, and talent are the people who you can come and get autographs and take pictures with. So as we build that lineup more, we've also got more vendors than we ever have before. More vendor spaces are sold this year than ever. We're sold out. We've been sold out a couple of times, and we keep trying to fit more in. So we've got more going on than ever before. If we were at a $1.4 million economic impact 24 months ago, and now we have a bigger event, I'm hoping that number increases.
Just as an aside, as far as the demographic thing goes, you said if we are successful. I have friends of mine in their 40s and 50s who are literally, we went last year. It was awesome. Can you get me tickets? I said, I don't know this guy that well, and to be perfectly honest, he's not that friendly about that.
Now, we try to do as much as we can to get everybody in. Like on Friday night, we have free military and first responders. Kids 10 and under get in free. We do free parking all weekend long in the parking garage. That has occasionally filled up too. I don't know how many other events that happen at the convention center annually that fill the parking garage, but that happens to us yearly. There is a lot next to it. There's a lot behind it. All the parking is free that we can provide, and we've got a lot of freebies inside too this year. We're doing full-length feature movies, including The Nightmare Before Christmas and Supergirl, We're doing free escape rooms inside. We've got there's a lot of free stuff happening. The panel discussions where you get to ask questions of the guests. So we try to accommodate as much free as we can.
Should I dust off my Wonder Woman costume and wear that?
We welcome cosplay. Everybody.
Okay.
You'll see, I would say, a good 45 to 75% of our attendees will be in cosplay.
The fact that you answered Erin's question about a Wonder Woman costume with a serious face leads me to believe you are either the kindest man in the world or totally physically and emotionally exhausted. It kicks off Friday, am I right?
Yes,
Give
Friday
us the
night.
hours.
Friday night will be open from 6 until 9. It's our vendor preview night where we don't guarantee that any of the celebrities will be out there, but occasionally they do. Last year, Lou Ferrigno was there the whole time. Friday night is also, again, that free military and first responders, and we're showing The Nightmare Before Christmas that night at 7 o'clock in the panel room. There's 2,500 seats, so everyone's welcome. On Saturday, we open the doors at 10 o'clock, and we go all the way till 7. You'll see all the guests out there. We'll be showing Supergirl that day, all the other freebies and panels that day. And then on Sunday, we're open from 11 to 5. That's the day of our cosplay contest. So everybody who does come out and cosplay, if they want to compete, that'll be happening Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Ticket info, all the information online, I would assume.
Yes, geekscon.com, spell it geekdcon.com, or you can put the ED after geek. You'll get to the same spot. $25 gets you for the whole weekend, which is 3 days of entertainment. You can't find that kind of stuff around here very often.
Yeah, I got to get my push-up stuff working. Yeah.
Good morning at 649, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.652, time for Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU redshirt freshman quarterback Lowell Narcisse announced last night on social media that he will immediately transfer. The four-star quarterback out of St. James High School battled back from knee surgeries in his junior and senior years at St. James to receive an offer from LSU. According to Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger, Narcisse is the 14th LSU quarterback of the last 20 signed to depart the program or switch positions. 9 of those 14 never took a snap at LSU. Junior Justin McMillan missed practice Tuesday, leading to speculation about his future. He, along with sophomore Miles Brennan and Ohio State transfer Joe Burrow, are the only 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the LSU roster. Narcisse is expected to move to junior college, where he would be immediately eligible and could rejoin an FBS program in 2019, just like Lindsey Scott did last year after leaving LSU. McMillan has his degree and can transfer to an FBS school and be eligible immediately with 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. Houston's losing streak is now at 5 games after Colorado's 5-1 win in Minute Maid Park last night. The Stros have lost 9 in a row at home. Oakland beat Seattle 3-2, and they're now just 1 game behind Houston in the American League West standings. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The Jack Spring electric shockbuster button always at the ready because McCarty sadly is not.
No, I'm not.
So the marijuana is going to be late. Boy, that sounded weird.
Yeah.
So
our marijuana's running late.
The marijuana for Louisiana's marijuana is running late. Did I understand that story correctly?
Yeah, there have been some hitches in the giddy up, and
I don't know what that means.
yeah, we're not quite ready to provide the crops being delayed until November.
Sounds
like trading places.
Crops from where?
Wherever the crop is being grown.
Where does the state of Louisiana? Where do we get? I don't know.
We legalized a
I don't
company.
know. Pardon me. I don't know what the bureaucracy of marijuana, or if there is even a department of marijuana, department of cannabis.
We have only one group that's being allowed to grow marijuana, and they've been told hold off for a little while.
Told hold off?
Yeah.
Or they said they can't deliver.
I don't know which it is, but there's a delay in the marijuana.
656, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Rush.
The Wall Street Journal says that new life has suddenly come to Granite City, Illinois. Now, 2 years ago under Obama, the United States Steel Corporation scaled down operations. 1,500 workers were laid off. Those layoffs had a ripple effect. Other businesses suffered too, like companies that sold work boots or delivered lunches to hungry employees. Within a year of U.S. Steel scaling back, 26 other businesses closed. Granite City, population 30,000, was crushed. But then President Trump announced he was imposing tariffs on foreign steel imports, on products made by companies that are often highly subsidized by foreign governments. And suddenly, things changed. U.S. Steel announced that one of the furnaces they'd shut down would be fired up again. 500 workers were called back to work, some as early as this week. Average salary is close to $60,000. Meanwhile, in the Washington Post, Katrina vanden Heuvel urged readers not to be fooled by Trump's tariffs because he's running a con. It's typical left-wing BS, written by somebody who never spent a day in her life at a steel mill or worrying about paying the bills after being laid off from that good steel mill job. Katrina, don't worry. The people of Granite City and other towns like it know exactly who's running the con, and it isn't President Trump. It's all of you people on the left who've been telling these people you're looking out for them when you don't care a whit about them.
What interest rate would you rather pay on your credit card debt? 17% or less than 6% APR? The answer is obvious, Lightstream. Because with Lightstream, you may be able to consolidate credit card debt and dramatically cut your interest rate to as low as 5.89% APR with AutoPay. Plus, radio listeners get an additional rate discount. Just go to lightstream.com/act. With average interest rates on credit card debt at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands in interest. And because Lightstream is a division of SunTrust Bank, one of the nation's largest and strongest financial institutions, you can have complete peace of mind. The application takes just minutes, and there are no fees and no pressure. Just lower rates, one low fixed monthly payment, and huge savings. So if you have good credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount when you go to lightstream.com/act. That's lightstream.com/act. Lightstream.com/act.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.5% autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for more information.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got to clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 southbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KEEL.AccuWeather.com forecast, kind of sunny and hot. A little haze today. That African dust. More on that later. High today in the low to middle 90s.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
3 past 7 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Erin, local news. She is getting it ready right now.
Going to talk a little bit more about that development at Shreveport Country Club. That's coming up this morning. A local mom gets a trip to jail. And what's that in the air?
Oh,
it's Africa.
I see what you... No, it's African dust. We'll talk
Same
about that
thing.
later. It's like our own personal haboob. Never mind.
No, you're our own personal haboob.
No need to kiss up.
Thanks.
Going to talk college football in a none too pleasant way.
Oh, boy.
And you are attempting to track down the state's, Secretary of Agriculture?
Yep.
Ag Director? Because Erin wants to know, where the hell's our marijuana?
Where's my weed?
Fletcher and sports and traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour right here on Keel.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
Dust from Africa once again fills the sky in Shreveport-Bossier. The Saharan dust cloud causes hazy sky, lowers the air quality, and can even make it hard to breathe. The dust previously made its way to the area back in July. The dust cloud has traveled over 6,900 miles to make its way to Shreveport-Bossier. A severe beating gets a mother a trip to jail. Courtney Lyles arrested for allegedly beating her son severely with a belt. According to Bossier deputies, the beating caused welts and loose skin on the 4-year-old's backside. The incident happened back in April and was originally investigated by the Department of Children and Family Services. Lyles has posted bail with the stipulation of not contacting the victim. The little boy has been placed in the custody of a family member. City Council okays a new development. Matt Parker with the latest.
Despite an outcry from neighbors, the City Council has approved a new development at Shreveport's Old Country Club. Members of the council said they voted to rezone the area for the project because it will help Shreveport grow and promote economic development. The $240 million project is expected to create 1,200 temporary jobs and 200 permanent ones. Construction is expected to begin early next year. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The Ag Commissioner meets today with marijuana growers in the wake of news that this year's crop is being delayed until November. The holdups are starting to frustrate the pharmacies who've been authorized to supply the product in our state. Greg Morrison, who owns the license for Northeast Louisiana, says the uncertainty surrounding the start dates are costing money. He says pharmacies just want clarity on when their patients will get access to the treatment.
The whole thing of this is to try to treat people. I understand if they want to make sure they've got all their I's dotted and T's crossed, but at some point we've got to drop the flag and start the race.
The final distributed product must be in pill or oil form and not the generally imagined smokable version. School superintendent accused of bullying a teacher. Natchitoches teacher Marvin Blake claims Superintendent Dale Skinner began trashing him to other teachers and attempted to intimidate him because they have differing views on taxes. Skinner is for raising taxes to fund the schools. Blake is not. The matter was taken to the school board. Members debated various punishments for Skinner's actions, but ultimately levied no punishment and warned Skinner not to take any retaliatory measures against Blake. Blake says he plans to take legal action against Skinner himself. Caddo Parish, in conjunction with the Clerk of Court's office, will host a seminar on how to get misdemeanor charges expunged. The Second Chance Summit and Resource Fair is set for tomorrow from 9 to 1 at the Ag Building at the fairgrounds. LSU's quarterback situation raising eyebrows as not one, but two of the four scholarship QBs on the roster were MIA for practice Tuesday. The noticeable absence of junior Justin McMillan and redshirt freshman Lowell Narcisse was a topic of discussion between James Moran and Cody Worsham on the most recent edition of Tiger Rag Radio. Narcisse announcing he's transferring. Moran says if McMillan were to split, he could hit the gridiron elsewhere immediately.
If he does leave, and there have been rumors of such since Joe Burrow got here, he would be doing so as a graduate transfer because he graduated on the day that fall camp opened. So he could go wherever he wants and play right away.
The first game of the LSU season will be in Dallas September 2nd against the Miami Hurricanes. One child in Utah in hot water after running up a $300 tab on Amazon. The 6-year-old's aunt let the child order a Barbie online for her birthday. However, when the aunt wasn't looking, the youngster ordered $300 worth of toys from Amazon. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Eleven past 7:11, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Ruben's ready.
The intersection of Mansfield Road and West 70th Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're starting to see some backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
I need you to have Google here in a second, okay?
Okay, I'm good with the Goog now.
Stand by. 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 13 after 7 o'clock. The Keel app is always a free download from Office Furniture Source. I want you to Google for me the Junction, Junction.
I can spell Junction, thank you.
I might have slurred it. The Junction Boys. And let me know what it says. Now, if anybody listening, if you're sort of a...
Go to the Wikipedia?
A football guy, sure, okay.
Okay.
If you're a football guy, if you're a football historian, then you'll know the story of the Junction Boys.
The survivors of Texas A&M Aggies football coach Paul Bear Bryant's 10-day summer camp.
Hold on a second. The way this is worded in Wikipedia is even better than I could have hoped for.
The Junction Boys.
Okay, read it again and read it slowly for everybody.
The Junction Boys were the survivors of Texas A&M Aggies football coach Paul Bear Bryant's 10-day summer camp in Junction, Texas, beginning September 1, 1954.
Right.
The ordeal has achieved legendary status and has become the subject of a 2001 book, The Junction Boys, by Jim Dent, and a television movie with the same name, produced by ESPN that starred Tom Berenger as Bryant.
Yeah, it was Tom Berenger. There was another one where Gary Busey played Bear Bryant, but I can't think of it. Okay, so in that opening sentence, what to you
survivors
is that key word?
Survivors.
What does that tell you?
You're trying to kill them.
You're not far wrong.
I mean, you survive a major car crash.
And
you survive a jump off a cliff.
And all the years later, the survivors, these guys that had played for Bear Bryant in 1954, his first year at Texas A&M, this is pre-Alabama, they would get together and they would pat each other on the back and they would praise Coach Bryant as the greatest coach of all time, and they would say how he made them men and they made him the men they were, and they would literally worship at the altar of Paul Bear Bryant.
The time of the camp, the hill country in Texas had an extreme drought and a heat wave. Temps were about 100 degrees. Listen to this.
Now wait,
you could not do this today.
No, no. Wait a second.
Never in a million years.
Stop right now. You don't know what you're talking about, and I don't mean that to sound mean.
No, you couldn't.
Do you know who DJ Durkin is?
No.
DJ Durkin is the about to be fired football coach at Maryland who ran a player to death. So yeah, you can. That's the whole point. Google DJ Durkin.
Wait, let me read this, though.
Jordan McNair.
In this case, Paul Bear Bryant began practices before dawn. The practices lasted all day, with meetings in the evening until 11 p.m.
Just Google DJ Durkin. You obviously haven't, and I don't mean this. You haven't been keeping up with the story. DJ Durkin and his staff, they basically killed the kid. Jordan McNair. And he's about to get fired, and a whole bunch of his staff is about to get low. No small irony, by the way. Who is DJ Durkin's offensive coordinator? Do you know?
Matt Canada.
Matt Canada, who may, in fact, end up being the interim head coach.
Durkin intentionally scheduled practice during the hottest parts of the day to build mental toughness, made his players rerun the last 20 yards of a trip across a practice field as they move from one drill to the next.
So where have I heard in the not-too-recent past, you could never do Junction Boys. You could never do that today. Yeah, the guy did. He
shouldn't have.
He did.
This will end it.
Hold on just a second. So after I've been keeping up with this for a while, and last night I texted and or called three sports guys, a couple of reporters, a writer, just people I know. And I said, is this DJ Durkin Maryland thing, is it the exception or is it the rule? I.e., are there really lots and lots and lots of college football coaches who feel the need to weed out the weak, not by killing them, but by making them so tough that when it comes down to the fourth quarter, look, if you're making $4 million a year, you'll do a lot of things to keep that $4 million job.
Yeah.
And convince yourself that it's for the good of everybody.
Right.
You don't think DJ Durkin didn't think, DJ Durkin, Maryland coach, didn't think this was for Jordan McNair's own good, that it was for the good of the team and the good of the school, and it would make him and the team stronger and bond together. And in a fourth quarter battle, when it comes down to who's going to be the man amongst men, that this was going to create the exact kind of man who would represent Maryland and bring home the victory.
Well, wait a minute, because I'm confused. Because I know at the high school level, they have stopped all this. They take huge precautions at the high school level to make sure the kids are safe. And I assume they did it in college, too.
So I asked these three sports guys, I said, so DJ Durkin at Maryland or programs of that ilk?
Oh, boy.
I said, is that the exception or the rule? And the answer I got was, it's not the rule, but it is a very substantial majority. If you found out that Ed Orgeron was creating men in Baton Rouge with this kind of workout, and he could probably easily talk you into it being a good idea, convince you that it was good for the team and good for the players, and in the end, the fans would be loving it. Got to make man, fourth quarter. Separates men from the boys, wheat from the chaff.
No, you can't do that.
So, I ask you once again, do you think in about 30 years, do you think these guys that played for DJ Durkin at Maryland are going to all get together and they're going to look back at the fall of 2018 the way the Junction Boys look back at the fall of 1954? And do you think they're going to praise DJ Durkin as the greatest coach they ever played for, the coach who made them men like those Texas A&M guys do to this very day with Bear Bryant?
No.
Then why did those A&M guys, why did those A&M guys for years and years and years, and some still survive, why do they still praise Bear Bryant? What's the only difference is that a guy at Texas A&M didn't die. A bunch of them ended up in the hospital.
Yeah. You got a kid dead here, man.
But for the grace of God, Bear Bryant never killed anybody.
You're right.
And he admitted that later.
That's true.
So I ask
But
you
he changed the way he practiced.
So I ask you once again, do you think these Maryland guys are in 20 or 25 or 30 years going to get together and have team reunions and speak highly of DJ Durkin? Or do you think they're going to go, that's the coach that killed that kid?
I think they're going to say he's the coach that killed that kid.
So, but for the grace of God, Bear Bryant's career ends in the fall of 1954, and he never goes beyond that.
Wow. I hadn't thought of it like that.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Parky, you have a look on your face.
Oh, no, I was going to say the only difference is he didn't kill a kid.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's the only difference. And I had three guys tell me last night in college football in D1, and I would imagine at other levels, it's not the rule, but it's a very large minority.
Right.
20 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Ruben's here.
The intersection at Mansfield Road and West 70th Street is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're starting to see some backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
22 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU redshirt freshman quarterback Lowell Narcisse announced last night on social media that he will immediately transfer. The four-star quarterback out of St. James High School battled back from knee surgeries in his junior and senior years at St. James to receive an offer from LSU. According to Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger, Narcisse is the 14th LSU quarterback of the last 20 signed to depart the program or switch positions. 9 of those 14 never took a snap at LSU. Junior Justin McMillan missed practice Tuesday, leading to speculation about his future. He, along with sophomore Miles Brennan and Ohio State transfer Joe Burrow, are the only 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the LSU roster. Narcisse is expected to move to junior college, where he would be immediately eligible and could rejoin an FBS program in 2019, just like Lindsey Scott did last year after leaving LSU. McMillan has his degree and can transfer to an FBS school and be eligible immediately with 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. Houston's losing streak is now at 5 games after Colorado's 5-1 win in Minute Maid Park last night. The Stros have lost 9 in a row at home. Oakland beat Seattle 3-2, and they're now just 1 game behind Houston in the American League West standings. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. We were just watching on TV that all these celebrities, at whatever event they happen to be at, at which they happen to be, and somebody sticks a mic in their face and they want an Aretha Franklin comment. And it's like they're just, yeah, she was awesome. I mean, it just, the people who have, like Ethan Hawke, stick a mic in his face at a red carpet premiere. Aretha Franklin is dying. What do you think about Aretha Franklin? What is he going to say?
Yeah, what do you say? Oh, she sucked. We hated her.
Yeah, I mean, it's
everybody's going to praise her.
And so
I listened to her all day again yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, one of the greatest songs she did that people don't realize? It was a remake, I Say a Little Prayer. And who originally did I Say a Little Prayer for You forever and ever? Who originally did that?
I don't know.
I'm not
It's
sure.
a Burt Bacharach song.
But her vocals, you don't realize how strong her voice was. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And I get tears thinking on some of the gospel stuff I've been listening to. You just tear up. It's so sad. She's going to be so missed, in my view. And though she's not been performing, her last performance was at a show in Detroit last year, I think last summer, and she didn't look good. She was scheduled to play the Jazz Fest and canceled. I saw her at Jazz Fest. It's been many years. But, Robert, it was, you know how Jazz Fest is laid out in New Orleans where they have like 8 stages or 10. When she was playing, it was just sea and sea of people just everywhere. I mean, you couldn't even move. You know how some groups, you cannot even get up to go to the bathroom because you'll never get back into your friends?
Gentilly Stage.
Yeah.
Is where that one is.
That was Aretha for me. And it was, you don't want to move when Aretha's on stage. You just can't. It's mesmerizing. And I've seen some biggies. I mean, I've seen Prince. I've seen Tina Turner. I've seen a lot of big acts. For me, I think I'd put her at number one. I think she'd be at number one. I wished I could have seen her back in the 60s or 70s. I mean, I wish. But gonna be sad for me. It's gonna be sad. Such a fan. Such a fan. And I do apologize for the horrible story. If you haven't seen it, it's at keelnews.com that I told about Aretha, which was not true.
First of all, I think you're presenting yourself in a little more negative light than you deserve. I mean, the word horrible, if anybody doesn't have the context of the story.
You can see it online.
You just made yourself out to be a terrible person. And no, it's a funny story, and it happens to involve
funny story.
Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
You're not a horrible person.
But it's not the truth about Aretha, and I was using,
as we've said, it's
a
story
lie.
about Aretha Franklin that doesn't involve Aretha.
No.
But you're right, it is at keelnews.com.
Yeah.
And it's Erin at her best.
Do you have somebody like that you're... When they're gone, you're going to go, golly.
No, you know
that person touched me.
No, we talked about that in relation to your talking about how Eat a Peach by the Allman Brothers changed your life, and I said I don't have anything like that.
Nothing.
Music does not change my life. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I like it. I have favorite artists, but to say that there is a musician that had such a profound effect on my life or worldview, no, that's just not. Even when I was a kid.
And I implore you, go listen to Aretha sing "Precious Lord" it was done at the Kennedy Center Honors, and if you watch it on YouTube or whatever, I think I may have put it in my post. Everybody's crying. Oh my God! And that's the song I believe she sang at Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral as well.
Did you see the story? And I saw it last night, and it was Aretha Franklin related, and it was somebody writing about how it was basically an older music journalist writing about, hey kids, she never recorded on Motown. And the point is that all these young reporters, TV reporters, are going to like the Motown headquarters in Detroit and
calling her a Motown artist
and doing Aretha Franklin stand-ups in front and going, no, she was on Atlantic.
Yes.
Okay.
She's known as the Queen of Soul and will forever be the queen for me.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin has news. Next, here's Ruben.
The intersection at Uri Drive and Southfield Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're looking at some heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. It's backed up to Vanceville Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Dust from Africa once again filling the sky in Shreveport-Bossier. The Saharan dust cloud causes a hazy sky, lowers the air quality, and can even make it hard to breathe. The dust previously made its way back to the area in July. The dust cloud has traveled over 6,900 miles to make its way to town. Severe beating gets a mother a trip to jail. Matt Parker with that.
Courtney Lyles has been arrested for allegedly beating her son severely with a belt. According to the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office, the beating caused welting and loose skin on the 4-year-old's backside. The incident happened back in April and was originally investigated by the Department of Children and Family Services. Lyles has posted bail with the stipulation of not contacting the victim. The boy's been placed in the custody of a family member pending further legal action. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Despite an outcry from neighbors, the city council has approved a new development at Shreveport's Old Country Club. Members of the council say they voted to rezone the area because it will help Shreveport grow and promote economic development.
And so I'm hopeful that it's a real big success. It looks to be a well thought out investment in our community.
Councilman Jeff Everson, the $240 million project, expected to create 1,200 temporary jobs and 200 permanent ones. Construction set to begin early next year. School superintendent accused of bullying a teacher, Natchitoches High School teacher Marvin Blake, claims that Superintendent Dale Skinner began trashing him to other teachers and tried to intimidate him because they have different views about taxes. Skinner is for raising taxes to fund schools. Blake is not. The matter was taken to the school board. Members debated various punishments for Skinner's actions, but ultimately levied no punishment and warned Skinner not to take any retaliatory measures against Blake. Blake, though, says he plans to take legal action against Skinner. A former Balch Springs, Texas police officer is about to go on trial for, prosecutors say, firing his gun at a car speeding away from a noisy park, killing 15-year-old Jordan Edwards. At the time of Roy Oliver's arrest, the prosecution said it was making an example out of him, sending a message to other officers. Defense attorney Bob Gill argues that and other prosecution statements could influence jurors against his client.
Those things have infected the jury box, and we don't believe we can get a fair trial here in Dallas County because of that.
The judge denied the defense motion to move the trial due to publicity. Police in Pennsylvania investigating a shooting at a Walmart. The Cheltenham Police Chief John Fry says multiple people sustained non-life-threatening wounds.
At about 7 minutes after 6 o'clock this evening, one of our officers was in the area and observed a large number of people running from the Walmart. Turns out there was a shooting inside. The officer entered the Walmart, discovered multiple shooting victims.
Police arrested the suspects a short time later after they crashed into a police car. And there's good news for Cleveland Browns fans. Budweiser will be offering free beer every time the Browns win a game. In fact, they're putting fridges out all around town that will unlock when Cleveland wins a game. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, 23 before 8 o'clock. KEEL app is a free download from Office Furniture Source. Matt made an interesting, only barely related point to the last segment, i.e. just showbiz people. And And what did you say? Interesting how Harvey Weinstein's brother
Has disappeared from the face of the earth.
Gone.
has just fallen off, and I'm thinking, well, wouldn't you? And the only thing that came to mind, but you had mentioned the guy, okay, Jerry Sandusky, who was the Penn State assistant, who is in jail, I assume, for life for pedophilia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, there's he's basically the voice of the Ravens on WBAL, the local news station. He's been a longtime reporter in the market.
His name is?
Jerry Sandusky.
Oh, crap.
So when all that went down with Jerry from Penn State, Jerry, the voice of the Ravens, started getting death threats, and ESPN had to do a whole piece on him. Like, hey, don't beat up this guy. He didn't do it.
After John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln, he had a very famous brother, because they were both actors.
Yeah.
He and his brother Edwin. And Edwin Booth, boy, you talk about a career killer.
No kidding.
I mean, it's like he literally,
wow.
Basically, I'm moving out west. I'm changing my name.
I'm out of here.
I can never, Booth, we're going to hang you too.
Right.
Exactly. 739, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. When we come back, everybody that matters this morning, would you do me a favor? How old are those headphones?
Pretty old.
Okay. If you are watching on the Keel Facebook page.
Are they getting ratty?
And you're watching the video feed, I want you to kind of shake your head. You've got, there's a piece of head. You see it dropping off now? All the black.
Something on my periphery, yeah.
Okay, you can feel it. There's this huge, there it is. That's the one.
I'll dig it off.
No, you still missed it.
I'll get it.
It looks as though you're peeling, okay? Please.
Well, dang.
God.
You see what I'm talking about?
Well, I pulled up the video so I could see if it was noticeable on the video.
Yes.
And it wasn't until she started shaking her head, and it looks like a lizard shedding its skin.
It looks like you tried to fix those headphones with a cheese grater.
Oh, my goodness.
739, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Ruben is here.
The intersection at North Market and Ford Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still keeping a close eye on some heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road southbound, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Erin said, yep, pair of headphones last me about 5 years. And then she said,
they're in great shape. They just start shedding. Because of my hair, my moisturizer, I don't know.
There's something that what you use on your hair.
Maybe.
Or on your face, which really frightens me.
Mm-hmm.
That causes the plastic cover on the headphone ear pad to literally dissolve.
At about 5 years, though, because I could bring out an identical pair of like these.
And in 5 years.
From my desk. And they're shredded just like these.
And I used to wear those, and they never, ever, ever.
It's time for you to win another pair.
I think so.
Because you gave me these when you won them.
Yeah.
Everybody was ticked.
Have to give another speech.
Yeah, you have to give another speech.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Everybody that matters in this University Health, LSU Medical School, people being named to the board, Greg Tarver kind of freaking out. He won't talk to you this morning.
Well, he may have been in the shower. I may have to give him another call. because he has his
left
routine.
a message.
No, I didn't. I just hung up, but I'll
but
call back.
usually he calls you back without fail.
He usually does. I'm just thinking maybe he's in a meeting or at a breakfast meeting or something.
Now,
but I'll try him again.
If you missed this yesterday, and this is basically, how did we term it?
I have heard from the governor's office this morning, though.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Same fight, different day.
Mm-hmm.
Bring everybody up to date about the latest with well, not necessarily Biomedical Research Foundation, but specifically Greg Tarver sending a letter, a number of letters to Governor John Bel Edwards objecting to the potential appointment of Steve Scrivanos to this advisory board,
right?
That would sort of it's I don't want to use the term non-binding, but they're an advisory group. They're not the real rule makers. And yet, it would seem that Senator Tarver continues to have this animus toward anyone or anybody related to Biomedical Research Foundation. Right. It's not the first time that he's tried to block or prevent BRF from having a voice in. I mean, he's a big, long-time Biomedical Research Foundation opponent.
Right. Headline reads thusly at KEELnews.com: Battle brewing over hospital management structure. Governor John Bel Edwards is beginning the process of putting together the management board that will oversee operations of University Health in Shreveport and the hospital in Monroe. State Senator Greg Tarver has sent the governor several letters expressing concerns. If you want to read those letters, you can get them right now. KEELnews.com.
May I attempt to summarize?
Please do.
BRF and Steve Scrivanos suck.
Yeah, don't appoint him.
And they should not be allowed in the building.
Yep.
They should not, whatever credentials they have, take them away from them. And whatever the University Health and or LSU Med School equivalent of isolating them, of sending them to ELBA would happen to be, do that.
Governor appointing Steve Scrivanos to any board that has direct or indirect control of Ochsner LSU would be equivalent to someone getting a divorce, remarrying, and then moving their ex-spouse in with them and their new spouse. Strong. So, I reached out to Steve.
But pardon me, it's no stronger than any of the other negative things he said for years about BRF and their operation of the hospital and the med school.
Steve Scrivanos sent me, I tried to get him to come in today, but he could not. But he did send me a statement that reads, BRF representation on the 8-person hospital governing board would bring historical perspective of system operations and a wealth of community insight that is important for a successful transition. Now, Tarver also sent a follow-up letter about the management.
So what Mr. Steve is saying is I think appointing me is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, well, you need some history. You need to know if you reach roadblock or stumbling block A, well, how did y'all handle it before? How did we get through this hurdle before? Some history is helpful. And I did reach out to the governor this morning, to his people, and I got this response just now. The governor is not available to talk to you about this. We're in the middle of negotiations, and we'll be happy to discuss once the agreement is finalized.
So let's sum up. You've gotten 3 either emails or phone calls or communications this morning or yesterday. And basically, so the one from Senator Tarver said, sort of, Scrivanos sucks. The one from Scrivanos says, I think I could do a pretty good job. And the one from the governor says, fat chance I'm not coming on with you clowns.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, we're having a pretty good morning here.
Yeah, it's a good week for us.
So what's the latest? What's going to happen with this? What kind of representation? And at the end of the day, since all this is still being put together, I guess we're going to find out. Let's look at it this way. Is this really coming down to as it seems to have for some time, a power struggle once again between the Tarver camp and the Cedric Glover group?
I'm not sure if that's as much the case. I think
Glover, a longtime backer of Biomedical Research Foundation, and his defense of BRF is and continues to be the reason they had trouble, the reason the hospital is having financial difficulties is because there is I don't think I'm out of line saying and putting words, I think he's used the term, plot to get that medical school for South Louisiana, to take it away from us.
Well, Tarver is very pointed in another letter to the governor that he sent yesterday, comparing the Shreveport Hospital to Monroe. He's fighting for better funding for Shreveport because he says, and I'm going to quote here from the letter, which you can read all this at keelnews.com, Shreveport is 800,000 square feet with 398 residents, while Monroe's hospital is 328,000 square feet with only 37 residents. He says, I mention these facts to clearly point out the vast differences between those two hospitals. In other words, he's fighting for more equitable funding for our hospital.
And yet he, who has nothing good to say about BRF and Scrivanos, from a KTBS.com article in 2017, Scrivanos also claims University Health receives less state and federal funding than University Medical Center in New Orleans. So aren't Scrivanos and Tarver saying basically the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
And yet Tarver continues to have, I'll use the term again, a great deal of animus toward BRF and specifically Steve Scrivanos.
And this in response to the Tarver comments about divorce. I just got this text from a local elected official. Or it's like getting a divorce and staying in communication with your ex for the health of your children.
For the good of the kids. I saw that one coming. That was awesome. 749, 1017 FM, 710 Keel.
The intersection at Uri Drive and Southfield Road dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're looking at some heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. It's backed up to Vanceville Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
It is 752, 1017 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU redshirt freshman quarterback Lowell Narcisse announced last night on social media that he will immediately transfer. The four-star quarterback out of St. James High School battled back from knee surgeries in his junior and senior years at St. James to receive an offer from LSU. According to Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger, Narcisse is the 14th LSU quarterback of the last 20 signed to depart the program or switch positions. 9 of those 14 never took a snap at LSU. Junior Justin McMillan missed practice Tuesday, leading to speculation about his future. He, along with sophomore Miles Brennan and Ohio State transfer Joe Burrow, are the only 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the LSU roster. Narcisse is expected to move to junior college, where he would be immediately eligible and could rejoin an FBS program in 2019, just like Lindsey Scott did last year after leaving LSU. McMillan has his degree and can transfer to an FBS school and be eligible immediately with 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. Houston's losing streak is now at 5 games after Colorado's 5-1 win in Minute Maid Park last night. The Stros have lost 9 in a row at home. Oakland beat Seattle 3-2, and they're now just 1 game behind Houston in the American League West standings. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Yeah, she's just not listening. I mean, it was.
She's not.
Nobody. She's just what? What? Did you say something?
I'm on my phone.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 755. I'm not going to say Donald Trump is a total drama queen, but he sure throws gas on the fire.
Oh, does he ever?
The interesting thing about this whole Omarosa N-word thing is as follows, and this is the one undeniable fact, that within 36 hours of 2 polls that show that Donald Trump has approval ratings approaching 40% in the African-American community, comes the story, oh, Donald Trump said the N-word, and I've got audio. No, you don't have audio because Frank Luntz in the Omarosa book, is it Omarosa, Underosa? The point being that she cites Frank Luntz, a pollster, as the witness to this. Frank Luntz says, A, no.
Not me.
B, I wasn't in the room. And C, nobody related to her book, i.e. the editor or anybody, called me for verification.
Yeah. How do you get in there with a recording device? I mean, I'm going to be checked if I go in. I know, but put your cell phones aside. I mean, I've been checked at, when I go to a presidential visits, they check your cell phones.
Or maybe, now that everybody's already realizing, there's not really an audio of him doing it.
I think it might be bogus.
101, maybe. 757, here's Hannity on Keel.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
A landslide of the American people say they're losing patience with Robert Mueller and his investigative fiasco. And they want him to wrap up things by Election Day, which kind of gives the Fumbling special prosecutor, a little more than 2 months. 2/3 of Americans would like to see Mueller finish the investigation into Russian election interference before voters go to the polls in November. Democrats are more apt than Republicans to think Mueller shouldn't aim to wrap up things before the election. Of course not. Majorities across both parties say you ought to be able to complete the investigation before voters head to the polls. Well, that would be good for the country. Why would we ever want something like that to happen? It's, you can't make this stuff up. It's pretty unbelievable.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, I recently gave my home a facelift. I did it the best, simplest way possible. Brand new custom blinds, thanks to my friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Now through August the 29th, you can save up to 35% off and take an additional 5% off site-wide just by using the promo code Hannity. That's up to 35% off plus an additional 5% off site-wide. Blinds.com, promo code Hannity. Rules, restrictions apply.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. We've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. Our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days. Then, if rates go up, your rate stays locked. But if rates go down, your rate drops. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
The intersection at Uri Drive and Southfield Road dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're looking at some heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. It's backed up to Vanceville Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin has local news, getting it ready right now.
The City Council okays a new development for the Old Country Club. We'll talk about that. The African Dust is back in our community. That's coming up.
Is that a band?
No, it's not.
Okay.
And a superintendent accused of bullying a teacher.
You know, you just had the headline about Shreveport Country Club.
Mm-hmm.
Wait until Matt tells us what somebody wrote about that idea of renovation on the KEEL Facebook page. And State Senator Greg Tarver joins us to talk about BRF and the board with Auctioner and LSU Health and the hospital. That in just a couple of seconds. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
KEEL News now.
The Shreveport Council okays a new development at the Old Country Club. Members of the council say they voted to rezone the area for the project because it will help Shreveport grow and promote economic development.
For those that haven't noticed, I would say our inner city is in desperate need of redevelopment. And this, to me, is a great opportunity that I'd like to see more of. We've had a project that so far in District C that had a lot of headwinds initially has really seemed to come out pretty well in the Madison Park area. And I'm hoping, that same level of investment and quality will occur here as well.
Councilman Oliver Jenkins, the $240 million project expected to create 1,200 temporary jobs and 200 permanent ones. Construction set to begin early next year. Severe beating gets a mom a trip to jail. Courtney Lyles arrested for allegedly beating her son severely with a belt. According to Bossier deputies, the beating caused welts and loose skin on the 4-year-old's backside. The incident happened back in April and was originally investigated by the Department of Children and Family Services. Lyles has posted bail with the stipulation of not contacting the victim. The boy's been placed in the custody of a family member. Dust from halfway across the world is back in Shreveport. Matt Parker with that.
Dust from Africa is once again filling the skies in Shreveport Bossier. The Saharan dust cloud causes hazy skies, lowers air quality, and can make it hard to breathe. The dust previously made its way to the area back in July. The dust cloud has traveled over 6,900 miles to make its way to Shreveport Bossier. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
School superintendent accused of bullying a teacher. Natchitoches High School teacher Marvin Blake claims Superintendent Dale Skinner began trashing him to other teachers and attempted to intimidate him because they have differing views on raising taxes. Skinner is for taxes to fund the schools. Blake is not. The matter was taken to the local school board. Members debated various punishments for Skinner's actions, but ultimately levied no punishment. The feds will be holding another auction on leases for oil and gas plots in the Gulf, with Louisiana industry members hoping for a more substantial result than earlier this year. Industry analysts say the last bid was disrupted by uncertainty surrounding the royalty rates. Tulane Energy Institute Director Eric Smith says there's reasons to be optimistic. It'll be bigger sale this time.
The royalty rate's like 12.5%, which is historically a good rate and should encourage a little more enthusiasm. You've also had a year's worth of higher oil prices.
The plots are used by major oil companies to initiate Gulf of Mexico resources drilling. Caddo Parish, in conjunction with the Clerk of Court's office, hosting a seminar on how to get misdemeanor charges expunged. The Second Chance Summit and Resource Fair will be held tomorrow from 9 to 1 at the Ag Building at the fairgrounds. The ag commissioner meeting today with the marijuana growers tasked with providing medicinal cannabis in the wake of news that this year's crop is being delayed until November. The pot's producer, GB Sciences, is blaming the delay on resistance from the Department of Agriculture. But Commissioner Mike Strain says that's just not true.
The information they initially submitted was very inadequate, and it wasn't even on our forms. And we've told them what their deficiencies are, and they have to correct that. That's the bottom line. It's got to be done right.
The final distributed product must be in pill or oil form, not the generally imagined smokable version. Italian authorities have raised the death toll in the Genoa Highway bridge collapse to at least 37. The investigation continues. What would prevent you from munching on a taco stuffed with tarantulas? Aside from the $27 price tag, or maybe the gag reflex, that is, how about it being against the law? That's the deal with a Mexico City market that recently offered a tarantula taco on its menu. It even posted a video on Facebook showing a chef torching one until it was blackened. The feds, though, say it's not legal. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Eleven past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic time. Ruben's here.
Keeping an eye right now on a major accident on I-20 eastbound near the Red River Bridge. It's blocking up traffic right now. And we have another major accident on Barksdale Boulevard near Walker Place. It's backing up traffic north and southbound. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 13 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app is always a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Standing by, Senator Greg Tarver. Hey, Mr. Greg, welcome back to KEEL. How are you today?
Fine. How are you all doing?
Good.
Well, you sent a letter to the governor, but hang on just a second. Let's start here. As the transition to Ochsner as the operators of LSU Medical School and University Health gets underway, there's going to be, is it an advisory board? Tell us about the board that the governor will appoint.
Well, I don't think the governor will appoint any of them. I think he will have influence to appoint them. I think LSU is going to appoint them in Baton Rouge. And the board is supposed to consist of community people and doctors. It's going to be one or two boards. It's going to more than likely be something like a board of governors and one control board that controls operation every day of the hospital and LSU, the activities between the doctors.
Now, one of the names, pardon me, Greg, one of the names being floated is Steve Scrivanos with Biomedical Research Foundation, or formerly so. And you sent a letter to the governor in no uncertain terms,
opposing his appointment.
I mean, this was like a fireworks letter. Why was that?
Well, number one, Ochsner said at first that BRF would not have anything to do with the new concern at all, and all of a sudden they changed. Putting Steve Scrivanos on the board is just like divorcing your wife, turn around and remarry, then move your ex-wife in with you all. That is just bad.
But if
business, they did a bad job.
If Ochsner changed the way they looked at it, why is that? Why is that? Dare I use the word offensive to you?
Well, it's offensive because you don't reward people for doing a bad job. You reward people for doing a good job. You don't give medals to people who lost. You give medals to people who win. Steve Scrivanos will be BRF, and they did a very, very poor job, and they're still doing a poor job at LSU.
Senator Greg Tarver, he sent us this response to your letter, and let me read this to you real quick. BRF representation on the 8-person hospital governing board would bring historical perspective of system operations and a wealth of community insight that is important for a successful transition. That historical perspective and the transition, do you see some merit to that at all?
None whatsoever. Historic, from my standpoint, what Steve Scrivanos means is bringing a bad job to the present situation. They've been doing a bad job at BRF. Why should we reward them by putting them on a board? Why don't we bring people in who know what they're doing with a new perspective from the community that really represent the community? Steve Scrivanos don't represent the community. By
sending a letter to the governor, you kind of went right to the top right away, right? I mean, what do you want the governor to do?
Well, let me tell you something. The governor do have influence in this situation, and I want to make sure that he understands that the people in the community that I know do not want Steve Scrivanos at all, because he just not fit for that board. You need to bring someone fresh on, someone know about the real community of Shreveport. Steve don't know about the community, not the community that is served by LSU.
Has the governor responded to you yet, Greg?
Well, we still having discussion.
Okay. I got this from his office this morning that said we're in the middle of negotiations and we'll be happy to discuss once the agreement is finalized. What kind of timetable are we looking at for getting this board named?
Well, I don't really know. I think that we have a special meeting more than likely in September, the 11th or the 20th, to look at everything. The thing must be ratified by the CEA, must be ratified by LSU Board of Supervisors first.
You also
then come to the joint budget.
You also sent him a letter comparing Shreveport and the Monroe facilities. Why is that so critical? You want our hospital treated more equitably?
Well, the reason why, in my conversation with him, he's talked about they're on level fields, and they're not on level fields. They are approximately 25% of Shreveport. That's just like comparing a mold on your body to a mountain. And it's a big difference.
And yet, on the other hand, a lot of BRF people, and Scrivanos specifically, have said for years that the funding is inequitable. Isn't that the same thing you're saying now?
Well, no, I'm saying that we do need more funds. All of the partnerships need more funds. I'm not saying that exactly. All the partnerships need more funds. We're still having to study in which ones in Louisiana are getting a little bit too much more money than the other ones. We're still dealing with that right now.
Senator Tarver, how confident are you that Ochsner will come in and do the job that needs to be done? And what are some of the things you're going to watch for to make sure they're doing it right?
Well, let me say this to you. They're good operators. It's very clear they're good operators. They run about 26 hospitals in Louisiana. They're very good. My problem is protecting LSU Med School. How you protect LSU Med School, number one, by making sure they do not have a 10-year contract. Let them have a 5-year contract with an option. You don't know what will happen 2 years from now, like we did not know what will happen between BRF and LSU 2 years ago. And what's happening, we don't want to be locked into a marriage that we cannot get a divorce.
Mr. Gregg, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago or so, you didn't have so many. You had some unkind things to say about Ochsner. What was it that they did that softened your stance?
Well, number one, I looked into the operation. I visited a couple of the hospitals. I talked to the senators that represent the hospitals that they have. My only concern ever with Ochsner is not the operation. Is I don't want someone from South Louisiana to come up here and control our destiny. That is my biggest problem. They are good operators. I just want them to stay in their place over in the hospital and let LSU run LSU.
Just to set the record straight, as it were, is your opposition to Steve Scrivanos, would you oppose anybody who at any point represented BRF, or is this something a little more personal?
Oh, no, it's not personal. None of this is personal. My only concern is to protect the integrity of LSU Med School. I've been doing it for the last 29 years. I'm going to continue to do it. I don't have anything personal. Don't know Steve that well, by the way, but I know what type of operator he is, and he's not a good operator of a hospital. He might be a good engineer, but he's not a good operator of a hospital.
State Senator Gregg Tarver, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
20 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update. Ruben's ready.
Keeping an eye right now on a major accident on I-20 eastbound near the Red River Bridge. It's blocking up traffic right now. And we have another major accident on Barksdale Boulevard near Walker Place. It's backing up traffic north and southbound. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Time for sports. Here's Timmy.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU redshirt freshman quarterback Lowell Narcisse announced last night on social media that he will immediately transfer. The four-star quarterback out of St. James High School battled back from knee surgeries in his junior and senior years at St. James to receive an offer from LSU. According to Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger, Narcisse is the 14th LSU quarterback of the last 20 signed to depart the program or switch positions. 9 of those 14 never took a snap at LSU. Junior Justin McMillan missed practice Tuesday, leading to speculation about his future. He, along with sophomore Miles Brennan and Ohio State transfer Joe Burrow, are the only 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the LSU roster. Narcisse is expected to move to junior college, where he would be immediately eligible and could rejoin an FBS program in 2019, just like Lindsey Scott did last year after leaving LSU. McMillan has his degree and can transfer to an FBS school and be eligible immediately with 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. Houston's losing streak is now at 5 games after Colorado's 5-1 win in Minute Maid Park last night. The Stros have lost 9 in a row at home. Oakland beat Seattle 3-2, and they're now just 1 game behind Houston in the American League West standings. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-five past 8 o'clock, 1017 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So the City Council has passed. Tell me about Shreveport Country Club. Bring everybody up to speed about it looks like it's a go, the renovation of the property, at least, what they're going to do and what's going to happen and what's the timeline.
They are going to begin construction probably after the first of the year, it looks like. I was watching the council meeting yesterday. They had a young lady who came up and said, you really need to take this into, more consideration and think more about what you're doing. But council members made a good point. They said if we have a private investor, no public dollars involved.
His name is John Henry, local developer. Okay.
Willing to take a risk. And you and I both know this is a huge risk.
Well, let's talk for a moment about the $1 billion 10-year proposal for Cross Lake 2.0, right?
Cross Bayou.
Cross Bayou, I'm sorry. And one of the things they've been talking about is, as we have spoken to some of the GDC people, the Gateway Development Consortium people, who are sort of at the vanguard, at the front of the Cross Bayou idea, the Cross Bayou project. They've sort of said, basically, the only thing we're going to want from the city is, kind of an environmental cleanup, an environmental study and cleanup, and then infrastructure, basically a lot of stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's still a pretty big undertaking and financial underwriting by the city. As far as Shreveport Country Club goes, it's all already there.
Yeah, it's there. It's called a PUD, which is a planned use development.
A what?
A PUD.
A PUD.
You're our PUD. That's okay.
Exactly.
But this is the PUD for Shreveport.
Fleer Comics starring PUD.
This is PUD number 2. You're PUD number 1.
He remembers. You remember, don't you? Please go ahead.
And it includes retail, commercial, residential. It also includes a charter school, which would be like a STEM sort of school.
This sounds sort of like
It sounds very familiar.
Mini Cross Bayou.
My question, we're going to have Mr. Henry on with us tomorrow morning. My question to him is, who is your demographic? Who's moving in here?
My question is, who in that deteriorating neighborhood, pardon me, would object to this?
But when you say it like that, I heard several council members say, when you start revitalizing a neighborhood, revitalization can then build around you. If you look at some, like you mentioned in Atlanta, and then there are neighborhoods that will then start building around you, and you might indeed change a whole part of town.
What a perfect example of that is, and it is only in its most formative stages, is the Madison Park area. With
Oliver Jenkins mentioned that,
with Maryland's and that new big building, and I apologize, I still don't know the fellow's name, and I can never remember it. What's going to be the shops at Madison Park. When you talk about Key Mexico and a lot of other things, that is literally beginning to revitalize that neighborhood I mean this in the best way, into sort of a hipster sort of neighborhood.
And if you've ever been to the new Bossier section, the East Bank section in Bossier, where the new restaurant Bojack's has gone in, right there by L'Italiano, that area is amazing too. You would have never thought 2 years ago this would ever happen right there on Barksdale Boulevard.
Now, that being the case, and we put the story up on the KEEL Facebook page, there's a link to the KEEL website, keelnews.com. Do you have that one post in front of you?
I do.
This has been making Matt crazy all morning long.
Uh-oh.
You can put makeup on a pig, but it's still a pig. Oink, oink. What's wrong?
Did you ad-lib the oink oink?
I did ad-lib the oink oink.
Okay, we got to go. 29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin has local news up next. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on a major accident on I-20 eastbound near the Red River Bridge. It's blocking up traffic right now. And we have another major accident on Barksdale Boulevard near Walker Place. It's backing up traffic north and southbound. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
Dust from Africa once again filling the sky in Shreveport-Bossier. The Saharan dust cloud causes a hazy sky, lowers the air quality, and can even make it hard to breathe. The dust previously made its way back to the area in July. The dust cloud has traveled over 6,900 miles to make its way to town. Severe beating gets a mother a trip to jail. Matt Parker with that.
Courtney Lyles has been arrested for allegedly beating her son severely with a belt. According to the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office, the beating caused welting and loose skin on the 4-year-old's backside. The incident happened back in April and was originally investigated by the Department of Children and Family Services. Lyles has posted bail with the stipulation of not contacting the victim. The boy's been placed in the custody of a family member pending further legal action. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Despite an outcry from neighbors, the city council has approved a new development at Shreveport's Old Country Club. Members of the council say they voted to rezone the area because it will help Shreveport grow and promote economic development.
And so I'm hopeful that it's a real big success. It looks to be a well thought out investment in our community.
Councilman Jeff Everson, the $240 million project expected to create 1,200 temporary jobs and 200 permanent ones. Construction set to begin early next year. School superintendent accused of bullying a teacher, Natchitoches High School teacher Marvin Blake, claims that Superintendent Dale Skinner began trashing him to other teachers and tried to intimidate him because they have different views about taxes. Skinner is for raising taxes to fund schools. Blake is not. The matter was taken to the school board. Members debated various punishments for Skinner's actions, but ultimately levied no punishment and warned Skinner not to take any retaliatory measures against Blake. Blake, though, says he plans to take legal action against Skinner. A former Balch Springs, Texas police officer is about to go on trial for, prosecutors say, firing his gun at a car speeding away from a noisy park, killing 15-year-old Jordan Edwards. At the time of Roy Oliver's arrest, the prosecution said it was making an example out of him, sending a message to other officers. Defense attorney Bob Gill argues that and other prosecution statements could influence jurors against his client.
Those things have infected the jury box, and we don't believe we can get a fair trial here in Dallas County because of that.
The judge denied the defense motion to move the trial due to publicity. Police in Pennsylvania investigating a shooting at a Walmart. The Cheltenham Police Chief John Fry says multiple people sustained non-life-threatening wounds.
At about 7 minutes after 6 o'clock this evening, one of our officers was in the area and observed a large number of people running from the Walmart. Turns out there was a shooting inside. The officer entered the Walmart, discovered multiple shooting victims.
Police arrested the suspects a short time later after they crashed into a police car. And there's good news for Cleveland Browns fans. Budweiser will be offering free beer every time the Browns win a game. In fact, they're putting fridges out all around town that will unlock when Cleveland wins a game. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. It's 8:37. Did I mention the KEEL app? I don't remember what I said 5 seconds ago.
Not sure.
KEEL app's a free download from Office Furniture Source. I have a question. And I don't know if you watched any golf this weekend.
I watched a tidbit of the ending.
The ratings were up. Like, what was it? 60-something percent?
We all know
65?
why.
Okay, tell me why.
Tiger was in the running.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You could give a damn about golf.
Nuh-uh.
You could care.
The only reason I watched it was because Tiger was in the running down the stretch.
Okay, so that's my question to you as a non-golf fan. What is it about Tiger Woods that makes you watch him?
He's just a great golfer. I like the drama. I like the comeback story. I like he's a great player.
It is probably 5 or however many years ago Tiger had his little social run-in with his now former wife that you sat in this room or the room next door and you pilloried Tiger Woods.
I know.
He's a horrible human being. He's a horrible man.
Yeah.
He deserves to lose whatever it happened to be. What is it about this Tiger Woods story? What is it about Tiger Woods in general that has made you hope for his not only professional but personal redemption?
Everybody likes a good comeback story. He's been so injured. He's been through so much in the last couple of years. You thought he was washed up. A lot of people said he'll never be the same. He'll never win a championship again. He's done. He needs to get on the senior tour, whatever it's called. Hang it up. Go get married and, have some more babies. But he still got it. He still had it. He shot a 60 freaking 4. Come on now. That's a tough round of golf.
See, I, as a golf fan, I just wondered what it was to you as a non-golf fan.
It's the comeback story.
And so many millions of other non-golf fans that makes him so magnetic.
Well, there's so many athletes. There's a difference between a great athlete and a superstar, and usually it's personality. Tiger Woods just has something in him where he's magnetic, he's electrifying. It doesn't matter if he's having a good round or a bad round. You want to see him.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, 839. Traffic time. Ruben's here.
Keeping an eye right now on a major accident on I-20 eastbound near the Red River Bridge. It's blocking up traffic right now. And we have another major accident on Barksdale Boulevard near Walker Place. It's backing up traffic north and southbound. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny skies and a high of 95 today. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 97. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.117 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, Jack Spring Electric Shockbuster button. Unused, yet always ready.
Yeah, shout out to my boys, Dub and Jess. They're on the way to Bipsy this morning. Wanted me to
they were
say
on the way
hi.
to Cleveland.
No, they're not going to Cleveland.
All right.
They're laughing at that
Study
story.
hard, boys. Don't end up like your mom.
Yeah, please.
As we are sort of, although it's not a concrete fact, it's not carved in stone at this point. We will, as the mayoral election approaches, we'll have hopefully another mayoral forum.
Yep.
And certainly we will have the candidates in one by one by one.
I'm going to have the 3 we couldn't get in during the forum. They're coming in individually next week. I've got, I think, 2 of them set up, and I'm working on the 3rd.
As we get more and more into this, are you working on, because I've been jotting down every day, I jot down 1 or 2 notes for questions for next interviews. Have you been doing that?
I'm working on that as well.
What's in your head, just off the top of your head? Now that we can, when we get them individually and can sort of get them to pinpoint their plan. Scott Hughes had a great question when he was here last week.
Right.
You're all talking about crime. You're all saying you're going to get a new police chief. The biggest issue is crime and violent crime in Shreveport.
Right.
So what are 3 things you're going to do in the first 90 days to address this problem?
Right.
Hell of a good question.
I have some specific questions with regard to, they're all talking about, you hear Steven saying Superman's not coming. Well,
meaning Steven Jackson.
Right. Steven Jackson saying Superman's not coming. We got to take care of the businesses that are here. Well, I want to know how. I want to know, I own Erin's Coffee Shop. What are you going to do for Erin's Coffee Shop to make me more profitable so I can hire more people, make more money.
The point that I had made repeatedly is that basically we're as a city, we're sort of tapped out. We don't have a whole we are not flush with cash.
No, we're not.
And so as I have sort of said generically, what are we we need money. What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, take that a step further. Not only do we not need about $500 million a year.
Right.
Basically, the way to get that is to get people to move here.
Sure.
We need to get all the people that have moved away. Hello, North Bossier.
And I'll give you an example. The people here at Town Square might get upset with me about this, but I don't really give a rip. We have GeeksCon coming up this weekend. It is a major event for Shreveport. It is 15,000 people coming from all over the Arklatex that will descend on this city. What are we doing? What is the city doing? What are the tourism people doing to make sure these people spend their money here? Do we have people down there marketing to them? Hey, here's our top 10 restaurants. Hey, here's our top 10 things to do. What are we doing as a city to generate money from these people as they visit our town? I dare say we're not doing enough. And what are we doing for the people who put on festivals like this to make it easy to do business with the city and come back and put on the festival again? I need to see some specifics about that.
As we approach another mayoral forum, or at least interviews and or conversations with the candidates, and I kind of brought this up the other day, and you were, let me think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ask each candidate for a no tax pledge?
Oh, absolutely.
No more property taxes, no more, hell, we're already paying the highest sales tax in America.
No new garbage fee. Because if you remember, about a year after getting elected, that's when Mayor Ollie Tyler pitched that $12 monthly fee for garbage, and the town went crazy.
How's about bars at 18? Would you ask them that? Do you think that young people between the ages of 18 and 20, not yet 21, should be stamped the hand, you can go to Shreveport bars? That's a pretty big issue with younger people in the city.
It's a huge issue with the millennials, and they really want to see that happen. I'm unclear on that right now. And I know you have they can serve in the military, they can own a gun, why can't they drink a beer?
It's because you're thinking, what's it going to do to my insurance rates?
They're dangerous behind the wheel. The younger you get, the more dangerous you are behind the wheel. And when you're dangerous, you put me at risk.
There is another mayoral forum coming up on Sunday. I think it's Sunday the 19th. Here we go. KEELnews.com. 7 of the 8 Shreveport mayoral candidates have confirmed their attendance at the PACE 2018 Shreveport Mayoral Forum coming up Sunday, August 19th from 4 till 6 p.m. at the Deaf Action Center on Jordan Street.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Marie Arpino, Tremigius Dixon, Stephen Jackson, Adrian Perkins, Jerron Rogers, Leo Savage, and Ollie Tyler will be participating in a question and answer session open to the public. Candidate Jim Talaferro has a prior commitment. Shreveport native and University of California Haas Business School faculty member Dr. Clayton Critcher will moderate the forum. PACE, an acronym for People Acting for Change and Equality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this could be really damned interesting.
It could be a good one.
PACE. Do you know why I'm saying that right now?
I know you don't agree with a lot of things they stand for.
Let me continue. PACE, People Acting for Change and Equality, is a nonpartisan organization that I question that works to advance equality in Northwest Louisiana so that lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community members can lead open, honest, responsible, and safe lives at home and in the workplace. According to their news release, PACE believes the most effective way to achieve these goals is to educate our communities and to constructively participate in the political process. PACE previously conducted mayoral forums in going back to 2006. A reception will follow the question and answer period. PACE will not be endorsing, according to their website, PACE will not be endorsing any candidate, but will, quoting, simply make the views of each candidate known to its members.
What's the date on that again?
That is Sunday the 19th at 4 till 6 p.m. at the Deaf Action Center on Jordan Street.
Should be interesting.
848, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic, weather, and your money now just ahead. That is next here on Keel.
Still keeping a close eye on that major accident on I-20 eastbound near the Red River Bridge. It's backing up traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny, high 95 today, then mainly clear, low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 97 degrees. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
The state of West Virginia has impeached every remaining member of its Supreme Court for spending way too much money of taxpayer dollars to renovate their own offices.
Well, back home here in Louisiana, if you take a very close look at the Louisiana State Supreme Court finances, you'll find that they have nearly $60 million in what the state calls surplus funds. $60 million. And yet they went before the Louisiana legislature and asked for $7 to $8 million more than they were funded last year, when they already have $60 million just sitting in the bank.
Before the Louisiana Supreme Court asks for more taxpayer money, they should look at what's going on in West Virginia.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 1017 FM and 710 Keel, and streaming live at keelnews.com.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Erin had the story yesterday about the $600,000 baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely $623,369 sold at auction.
We still don't know who bought it, do we?
And the way they will not
Some rich dude.
announce. No. And the way you phrased the story was, well, it was an awesome baseball, and it was autographed by Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb and then some other guys.
Bunch of other guys.
The other guys are literally some of the greatest players or most famous players and or managers
I haven't heard of hardly any of them
in baseball history. These are the names that are on the baseball. Babe Ruth.
Got it.
Honus Wagner.
I know Honus.
Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
Cy Young.
Cy Young, we know a little bit about him.
Cy Young, 511 career wins as a pitcher.
Wow.
Tris Speaker. George Sisler, Walter Johnson.
No.
I think he won close to 400 games for the Washington Senators.
Goodness.
Connie Mack, legendary manager.
Heard of Connie Mack.
Napoleon Lajoie, Eddie Collins, and Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Oh, he was president, wasn't he?
Not exactly. Ronald Reagan played him in the movie, though. No small coincidence. So we got to talking about that, and I said if I had that kind of money, I would never in a million years buy something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just would not.
Yeah.
And then we started talking a little bit about around our houses. What is the greatest piece of sports memorabilia that you have? Now, Matt is like a freaking museum because his mother used to work for the Baltimore Orioles baseball team, and you have baseballs in closets signed by Hall of Famers.
Yeah, my favorite one is signed by Jim Palmer, Earl Weaver, Brooks Robinson, and Boog Powell. It's a game plate used ball, too, so it's a little scuffed up.
Hall of Famers, save for Boog Powell, who was nonetheless a legendary first baseman in their championship years in the 60s. Do you have any sports memorabilia at your house?
The only thing I have, I think, is the hockey puck from the Mudbugs' very first game at Hirsch.
You really have that?
I think that's the only thing I really have.
I
have some of my kids' soccer jerseys. I've got my high school Letterman jacket. I do have that.
Yeah.
From Baton Rouge High.
That's memorabilia for sure.
Yeah, that is, man. That's old.
You know what I got? And this is the most awesome thing. Mudbugs championship ring.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
No doubt.
2011. 8:57, back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel.
Today, 3 special shortcuts that every Windows 10 user should know. Kim Commando with your Wednesday Consumer Tech Update, and it's Digital Life Hacks Week. A life hack is an insider secret to getting things done better and faster. Despite the popularity of Mac computers, the fact is every day, more people use Windows computers than any other. So here are 3 tips to speed you up. First, make sure that Windows Defender is on. It's a powerful tool to protect you from viruses and malware, and it's already on your Windows 10 computer. But if the computer's slow, find the programs dragging it down. Open what's called Task Manager. Click the Process tab. Look for the programs that are eating up most of the memory and resources. If they're unnecessary, just running in the background, shut them down. And finally, use Windows Task Scheduler. It does just what the name implies. Turn your computer off at night or on in the morning and have it waiting and ready for you. I'm Kim Commando. When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. You need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
There's nothing small about your business. Your passion, your hours, your reputation, it's all huge. Your partnerships, even bigger. With Dell Small Business Technology Advisors, you'll get the tech, advice, and one-on-one partnership to help your business grow. Because with reliable Dell PCs with Intel Core processors, you can focus on what matters most, getting business done. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
Still keeping an eye on that major accident blocking up traffic on I-20 eastbound near the Red River Bridge. And we have some backed up traffic on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KEELAccuWeather.com forecast kind of sunny and hot, albeit hazy because of African dust. Again today, middle 90s, right now 78.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.